Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Write or Die Show. I'm your host, Randi-lee. On the show, we interview other writers and we talk about mental health from their personal journeys. If you have not already, hit that like and subscribe button. Go ahead, do that now so that you never miss an episode. You did it, right? You hit the button. Okay, do it now. Anyways, so before I introduce our guest, I got my new sweater in. I said it before, but I didn't have it with me. Isn't it awesome? Oh, wait, hold on. Isn't it awesome? There we go. It says, "Don't believe everything you think." My kid actually drew the dinosaur with the train coming out of its head. All her. Anyways, it's on the merch store, so you can pick up yours, sweaters, t-shirts, whatever. But it's my new favorite design because I love it. Don't believe everything you think. It's just so true. Anywho, enough of that. I'm going to bring on the stage here Cece Robinson. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Randi-lee?
I am pretty good. How are you?
I'm well.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about who Cece is.
Well, I've had like a lot of careers in my life, but I am a wife and a mom of 3 Gen Z adults because it's crazy. They're all over 18 now, and I'm not that old. I'm only like 25, right?
You clearly look it. Yeah.
Clearly. And I've like done a lot of things in my life. I've been in finance, I've been in medicine, I've run a nonprofit, and now I do finance in a church. So kind of combining those things and writing. So that's just kind of fun all over the place.
Okay. But other than, I mean, you did say about the kids, but like other than writing, who are you?
I love spending time with people. I love spending time in my garden.
Yes.
I like dancing. Salsa's the best. And I have a cat and a dog. And
what are their names?
Okay, so the cat is Newt, and he thinks he's the boss. Totally thinks he's the boss. And he very well might be. And then there's Sadie, who thinks she's my lap cushion. And thankfully, she only weighs 16 pounds, so she can be that lap cushion. So yeah, they're fun, and they're always on my stories on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah.
Mine have their own TikTok account.
They don't, but that's not a bad idea.
Right, they do. So mine is called 4 Cats, 3 Dogs. Although, for anyone who follows on their TikTok, we have a 5th cat. So I might have to change their name, or it's just 4 Cats, 3 Dogs plus Binks. Because Binksy came 2 weeks ago now, I think.
Wow, new addition.
Yes. So totally off topic, but cats are amazing. So there was a stray that was my boss at my day job. There was a stray by her, and she had 6 kittens, so she was trying to help. So I was helping out. So I've known Binks since Binks was about 3 weeks old. So so she had 6 kittens, and I kept saying, I'm not taking any of them. I have enough animals. I'm not doing it. But I also said, I'm not letting any of them go to the pound or to random Facebook people who we don't know and we can't necessarily trust, right? So long story short, 5 of the kittens got adopted. My best friend adopted Mama, and Binks was the only one left. I said, well, obviously she's coming home with me.
Oh, no, that's good. You can't let them go to the pound. You can't.
Right,
that's
exactly.
not.
So Binksy had to come home, and it has basically said that Binks is hers now, and I'm like, but my kitty. Binks is living in Love's room as of right now, and quite enjoys the closet, and she's got a spot on the bed, and yeah, she's loving it. Anyway, I could talk about kitty cats all day. Yes, we should talk about the show, but it was just a funny story. So
yes,
let's talk about mental health.
Yes.
Let's go back in your life. It's only 25 short years, so it's not too far. And start your story wherever makes the most sense for you.
So I grew up in a great home and really like have no complaints about how I grew up. But I went off to college and kind of got mixed up with a guy who, I wasn't confident in myself. And I'm looking back now, I can see that my self-esteem was really low. And he just kind of took advantage of that. And, we were in a relationship, but it wasn't my intention to escalate that relationship. If you understand what I'm talking about, into sexual relations. This was before the days of Rohypnol, but I really think that I was drugged. I have shady memories of that night. And afterward, he it turned into an abusive relationship. And that lasted a while. And my roommate finally said, "You're done. This is it." And she was just amazing. She was like this warrior on my behalf. And when I didn't think well of myself, she was like, "No, you're worth more." And that's like the biggest thing I had to learn, was that I have intrinsic worth, no matter what I do, what I earn, or what I accomplish. I have worth as a human being. And but that lesson took 10 years to learn.
It's not an easy one, is it?
No. And I was in and out of therapy. And it wasn't until I really refound my faith, is what I'll say. I kind of left faith for a while, refound my faith, and God just started talking to me and said, this isn't who you are. This doesn't define you. And I was like, okay, got a lot of prayer, a lot of ministry. And now it's so interesting because I minister in this space. So many other women have the same story, and it's heartbreaking, but yet I can tell them, look, I'm healed. I'm happily married. We've been married 23 years. And I have to count on my fingers. Isn't that ridiculous?
You got married at 2. Woo!
Yeah. Married for 23 years, and he's amazing. And he tells me all the time, like, you need to do what God's calling you to do, but 2, what's going to bring you joy, and values me regardless of my success or lack of success, or what I do or don't do, or if I take a nap, whatever. So, which I think is wonderful.
We'll keep him around then.
We'll keep him.
I mean, we've already kept him for 23 years, so we'll keep him.
We'll keep him. Steve's amazing.
That is such a common issue, though. And I feel not just with ladies, but also with guys. It's so common that you think that, that you have to put out for somebody to like you and for you to have any value to them. And I definitely know a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot, but I'm going to say a lot of girls growing up, and weeks, I'll include myself in this bad mindset. That's the mindset. Like, this is what you're told. And I feel like it's shown a lot on TV too, that, that girl's popular because, right? So
it just perpetuates it.
It does. It's absolutely awful that way, but we definitely don't need other people to know that we have value. Not that much easier said than done. Yeah. Okay. So, well, that's good. While you were in therapy and learning some different stuff on and off, and I know you said that your faith played a big role, but what are some really key things that kind of were like aha moments for you?
I think it was tied to self-esteem and self-worth, and really understanding that some of those patterns got set up when I was a kid. And, I was always really short, and I'm not anymore. I'm 5'4". I'm totally average.
I'm 5'4" too.
That's like the American average for women. I'm totally average.
Yeah.
But I grew up super short and kind of picked on, and I believed those things. And I didn't have anyone else in my life telling me or even realizing that was happening, telling me that that wasn't true. And I internalized those lies as truth. And so what I would say to people is really examine what you're believing.
Yes.
Ask questions, and just like your little your drawing with the train coming out of the head.
Yes.
Not all your thoughts are true, and not all your thoughts are healthy. And maybe they're not true because you believe what someone else's thoughts are about you. And when you examine those, then questioning them, then they become a paper tiger. And you're like, oh, wait, this isn't true. I don't have to believe it.
I've never heard that term.
Like, yeah, I mean, so a tiger it looks awful, right? But if you get close and examine it and you realize it's made out of paper, you can crumple that thing and throw it away.
Oh, I like that. That's fun. I've never heard
It's no longer threatening. It's no longer an issue. But I mean, it takes some time, and you may find yourself in that thought, vortex, that.
Right? Yes. And it just gets worse the more you think about it.
No, you just got to snap, and realize, no, this is not who I am. This isn't what I'm going to be. This isn't the lie I'm going to believe. And the only way I could do that was really through, help from other people, and them recognizing when I was in that thought vortex. And then, the Holy Spirit and God just saying, stop, just stop. And short circuiting that and helping me just realize that, okay, no, this is not true about me. This other thing is true about me. Let's replace that lie with truth.
Oh, I like that. I'm just absorbing it for a minute because
that's
I really
awesome.
Like it. Replacing the thoughts is such a big thing. I'm trying to think where I read this, and no matter how much I think about it, I'm not going to remember. But I read something somewhere way back in the day when I was an employment counselor. So I had somebody who had such high anxiety, crazy anxiety. So I was creating a workbook for him, and I was trying to gather all these different things.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things in there was the self-talk. And so it was an activity I found for him to use. Write down every time something bad happened. Like your mind is telling you something bad, and you're just writing all this stuff down. And then, why is that not true? Let's rethink that.
Yeah.
So for instance, if we're having going back to our previous part of the conversation, we have the thought of, well, this person only likes you because they think you're going to put out. Well, the negative self-talk can be like, well, you're not good enough for them then.
Yeah.
So you turn that around to, well, I am good enough. Perhaps maybe this person isn't the person for me because I am good enough.
Yes. Exactly. Perhaps this person is asking something of me that's inappropriate for me.
Yeah.
And that won't help me in my life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's okay to say goodbye to those people.
Oh, it is. Yes.
I want everyone to hear that loud and clear. It is okay to say goodbye to people who are asking inappropriate things of you.
Yes, it is.
Exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
And if you need help with that, ask a friend, a true friend.
Yeah.
Like my roommate in college, like she just dragged me kicking and screaming out, and then would take me out with her group of friends. So I had something to do.
Yes.
Find a friend. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Do you know the answer to, am I awesome? Well, the answer is yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm so glad to hear that you found all of that. And then the other thing that you had put on the little like questionnaire thing, you were talking about undiagnosed ADHD. So tell me a little bit why you think that and what you're doing about it, the whole thing.
So I'm actually not 25. I'm 53. And no, yes, I know.
Being married for 23 years and having kids all over 18. No.
And so, did you know that the current diagnostic tools for ADHD are not validated for anyone over the age of 12?
I didn't know it was 12, but I knew that it wasn't so much for adults. Yeah.
So My son was diagnosed with ADHD in middle school. He was obvious. Okay. And then I
Boys
started
tend to
thinking,
be a little more
yeah,
obvious too.
I was thinking like, okay, this cousin, that cousin, and that cousin all have ADHD. And then these other people in my family, looking at the symptoms going, wow, yeah, probably. And then I'm looking at the symptoms and going, wait, I've had that. I've struggled with that my entire life. And I'm like, and this revelation comes over me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have had ADHD my entire life, never diagnosed, never treated. There's been inflection points in my life. Like when I started medical school, life fell apart for a little while. And the extra demands, the demanding curriculum for one, but also like the demands on your time outside of school and the study time. I was a basket case for a little while. I thought I'm going to fail out after getting into Vanderbilt Medical School. I'm going to fail out. I pulled it together, but it was like I had to ask for help. I went to teachers, and there was so many things that I learned in that process about organization, executive function, when to ask for help, when you need to just grunt it out and do it on your own. That I now looking back, I was like, oh, I'm totally ADHD. So after my son got diagnosed, my other two girls got diagnosed on the neurodivergent spectrum. And then my husband and I were looking at each other going, okay, what are you? What are you?
Oh,
both of us not diagnosed.
So I feel like it's common now for the parents after the kids are on their way to being diagnosed, because they're recognizing it in the kids earlier nowadays. They're not just going, well, you're a problem child. I was that problem child. People used to tell my mom, oh, you just spoil her. That's why she's freaking out. Or maybe it's because y'all just changed the plans on me and there's too much going on right now. Could be that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It's very similar. And I've shared their story. So I'll just super quick for new listeners. My kid was diagnosed at 8. One day she looks at me and goes, Mom, if I have it, so do you. And I went, huh. Yeah. And then you start doing all those self-assessments online. Go, huh. Yeah, I do. And then I did go and officially get diagnosed on the spectrum. But a lot of parents now are going, huh, you are just like I was when I was a kid. I'm still struggling with XYZ. Maybe it's time I stop saying I have this problem, that problem, and go, maybe my executive functioning needs help or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so common now. What are some of those, some of the tools that have helped you deal with it?
I like to say my calendars have calendars.
Yes, they do.
And my alerts have their alerts and notifications. Like everything buzzes and beeps at me like literally all day. And I will still miss stuff. So this is the thing. I feel like at my age, could I go and get diagnosed? Yes. There's one practitioner in Maryland who is developing a tool for adult ADHD diagnosis. And I don't think it's been fully validated yet. And he's not released it. I'm on the Attitude magazine subscription list. And I listen to their webinars all the time. So I've heard this guy speak, and I'm fascinated by this. And I think if it came to the point where I needed medication therapy, let's go do it. And I don't think I'm there yet. Okay. I've noticed with changes in life that things have gotten worse in ways, but I'm also busier, right?
Right. Yes.
So I have a phone calendar, and I have a paper calendar.
Color coded? Is the phone color coded?
No, but my paper calendar is.
Oh, okay, I knew one of them had to be. I knew one of them.
I guess my phone calendar is because I have 4 different emails being an author and a full, working at a church. So I have many different emails. And so they pop into my calendar in their own color.
So it is color coded.
It is color coded. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I knew it. It's,
no,
you know,
it
the
is.
color coding works so well. So for those who
It
are like,
does.
oh, how would I go about color coding? So at least for me, I have color coding. So the red is my outside job. Like I have to go to work during these times to make money and pay my bills. And then I have a bright green for every time I'm doing my show. So I know this is my show. And then I have a different color if I'm on somebody else's show because I love going guesting. So I have a different color for that. I have a color for the kids and their activities. And then I have a color for just my fun stuff that I want to do.
See, I only have 3 colors. I'm thinking I might need to add a color. I like that idea of the green. This is the family color because it's my favorite color.
Oh, nice.
So all the family and personal stuff is in this. This is my work color because it's my day job. And then this is writing color because it stands out.
Yeah.
So I brought these on purpose because I wanted to show you.
Yeah, I like that.
So I color code everything. I probably use caffeine a little much.
There was this new little, not really a cafe, because not hot drinks, but like a little drink bar that just opened around the corner from my office job. It is so good. It's called Breeze. Anybody who is in Welland that is listening, go check out Breeze. It's on East Main Street. Shout out to you guys. It's awesome. And we go there more than we should. Not every day. Not every day.
Yeah.
But more than I should, maybe. The drinks are good though. They're like only 20, 30 calories, but they're so like tasty. Watermelon Wave, highly suggested.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's so good. And but it has a little bit of caffeine in it. And I don't normally drink caffeine. I do not like the taste of coffee. I pretty much don't, but their drinks are so good. They're like juice. Plus it's like, oh, I'm gonna go take my walk around the block and oh look, there's Breeze. I'm gonna grab it. Yeah.
So that's the other thing I do is exercise. I think exercise really helps with ADHD.
I think exercise helps with everything. I really do.
Yeah. And then eating healthy. That's my other thing. I'm pretty, like I avoid certain, I've noticed for me, certain foods aren't good and I have some food allergies. So I'm just really conscious about what I eat. Although I have a weakness for Nerds gummies, so don't judge me.
They have a Nerds drink actually at that.
Oh no, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
It really, really tastes like it. It really does. That was the first one I tried. Right. That would be exactly tastes just like it.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure you're too far away, but if you ever come to the Niagara region, like if you're coming to visit Niagara Falls, Canada side, it's like 20 minutes from there. So it's totally worth it.
I'll come. It'll be fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I have friends up that way in Toronto.
You have to pass through here to get there. Yeah. So be like, hey, Randy, what was that drink place again? Where is that? Which one should I get?
I'm gonna have to go.
And I'll give you a list of the best ones. I mean, they're all really good, but like my top 5. So yeah, definitely going outside is a really big one that a lot of people say. Now, executive functioning. I mean, the term has come up on the show before, but I feel like it's been a little while since I've had a guest that was discussing ADHD. So what is executive functioning?
Executive functioning is basically the tasks of daily living or working that you as a human being have to do in order to live. So executive functioning can be anywhere from brushing your teeth every day. That's an issue sometimes with neurodivergence, to remembering to take a shower, to showing up for your appointments on time, to getting the report done, managing. And this is where executive function is its most complex, is managing multi-step projects. And so it is the process that you have to use as a human being to accomplish whatever is set before you.
And it's a lot of times taken for granted, I think.
Yes.
Like the whole, oh, you just brush your teeth every day. Well,
no.
So there's definitely some things that are taken for granted. And actually, I just had a great conversation on last week's show. I don't know, last week or the week before about taking things for granted. Check that episode out. That was with Mary Elizabeth Jackson. Because I don't want to repeat. Right? She's awesome. So we had a big conversation about that.
Yeah.
So go back a couple weeks and check out that one.
Yeah. The one thing I would have to say about like some of those daily task things is James Clear in Atomic Habits talks about habit stacking, where if you do one thing every day, so you get up and you go into the bathroom. Okay, while you're there, brush your teeth, comb your hair, and wash your face. Yes. So you just keep stacking habits on top of each other. And in that way, it's not this big thing to add a new habit. You just keep doing it to something you're already doing.
Yes, and that's a really good point that I don't know if anyone's ever said that one. I'm sure somebody has. It's been 200 episodes, but not recently, that's for sure. Yeah. That's actually, so when I was going to physio, and she was implementing calf raises.
Yep.
And she was like, you know what, while you're brushing your teeth, just do them while you're brushing your teeth. And she's like, habit stack. Because it's not something that you're like, oh yeah, I need to do my physio exercises now. I mean, maybe some people do, but when you're neurodivergent,
that's hard. It's hard.
It's hard, right? Because you have to remember one more thing. So yeah, she said, while you're brushing your teeth, just do it. Okay. And then in a couple weeks, she added, okay, well, now when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, you're calf raising. When you're brushing your teeth in the evening, you're squatting. Oh, okay. And so just easy little things, putting them together.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly what I do. Yeah. And that's what I've taught my kids to do too. Because brushing teeth was really hard for all three of them for whatever reason.
Yes.
And the dentist was like, you got to get this together. You got to figure it out. And I'm like, they're divergent. How do I do this? And I am too.
I fired a dentist. Like we switched a dentist because he just wasn't understanding that it was a struggle. He was like, you just have to do this. I'm like, really? Can you hold her down and do it? Because I can't.
Nope.
It's not that we're not trying, so you don't have to. And she was like practically in tears, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Because it's probably one of the most common struggles.
Yes,
I feel like. So, what would you say to somebody right now? Let's go with a 25-year-old because that's how old you are. No, what would you say to a 25-year-old who is kind of maybe hasn't quite found their self?
So a lot of times this shows up as I'm not happy with what I'm doing at work. And that is a symptom of a bigger problem. And so this was actually me when I was not quite 25. I think I was like 23, 24. And I was like, I'm not happy doing what I am in finance. And what I didn't understand were my like core motivations. And this was back in like the 90s and we didn't have anything except maybe like Myers-Briggs, and the whole counseling area was really evolving. But I would say go see a therapist and take some basic tests, like go through the Enneagram, take DISC, try to understand who you are as a person at your core. And when you understand yourself better, because a lot of times on these tests, it's hard to like manipulate them and say, oh, I want to be this. If you don't know what they're asking you about, you haven't done any research, you're just answering. And it can bring up things that like, wow, okay, I didn't know that. Like when I went through Enneagram, I'm an 8 on the Enneagram. I'm the challenger. And if I see a rule, I think about how to break it. I don't think about how to obey it. But that's also like a good thing to understand about myself, because then, when I'm healthy, I'm going to be the one who can manage change well.
Ah, yes.
And so when you understand COVID, I managed COVID pretty well, despite some of the other ADHD issues, just personality at my core. I don't have a problem with change. And when you understand that, okay, well, might that inform a career decision? Might that say, okay, maybe doing the same thing every day day in, day out is not your best place. And that's going to like be suffocating to you.
Yeah.
And then you can begin to evaluate what's my career path. But until you really understand who you are at your core, it's going to be hard to find that thing that is going to be the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 3 or whatever it is, that really gives you fulfillment in your life.
Right. And if you're dreading going to work every day, I mean, life just sucks.
Yeah. No, that's not good. That's not good. Life's too short to dread something you do 40 hours a week.
Exactly. Awesome. Any last tips before we move over to your writing?
No, just if you think that you might have ADHD, no matter your age, like start researching and get help. That's what I would say. Don't try to figure this out alone. There's a whole community out there of people just like you.
And there's some awesome people on TikTok that like to make skits and stuff about it. That they're skits and they're funny, but like I'm like I feel better because you know what? Yeah, that's me and that's you. And
I did that yesterday.
Right?
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So tell us what you've written. I know what you've written. What have you written?
Yes. So I did a book. Talk about the ultimate like multi-step process and project. This is a multi-step project.
Yes.
It took me 10 years to get out, and now I got to do book 2 in a year. And I'm
yes,
like,
you do.
So Divided is YA dystopian, young adult dystopian, and it's a story of Marcos Sanchez. He's an 18-year-old teenager who's pretty much done with his life and just wants to escape. He wants to escape his dad and his manipulations. He wants to escape the walls in Queenstown in the Federated Republic of America under a dictator. And he does. He escapes. He does the impossible, and then he gets caught. And they send him to a secret and illegal labor camp, and things really heat up from there. He connects with other kids his age, teenagers, and even some adults, and they're all part of a underground resistance movement. And they've been there for a long time. And when he gets in, he's like, we need to escape. He's just like, we just got to escape.
Like,
we just got to escape. No, we're gonna do something about this. And they do. And it's so much fun. And I can't wait for everyone to get this book, but also the rest of the books. It's written from 4 POVs, so that's a little unusual, but it's very important, I think, that we hear from each of the different ethnicities, because the whole thing is about a dictator who divides us racially. And the walls that are in our hearts today get expressed as physical walls in this dystopian world. And so I think it's very important we hear from all of the different ethnicities. And so I have my favorites, but that's okay.
Who's your favorite?
Harriet.
I really enjoyed her. Yeah. She was probably an early on favorite for me.
Yeah. And you don't even know the half of what she's been through. I love her because she's a survivor and she's still a rebel.
She's got attitude. Yeah. That's why I liked her. She's kind of got attitude.
And you're going to find out more in book 2 and book 3.
Well, then get on it.
I know. I'll get on it.
So, for those that have not listened or read the review, I have already reviewed this book just very recently.
And thank you, by the way. Yes.
You're welcome. And I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, having the 4 points of view. I always at the beginning, when there's like different points of view at the beginning of the book, I'm like, wait, which one is this now? Which one is this now? Yeah. Not that the author ever makes it confusing, just my way my brain works. I have to put it straight, right? But I loved it. Once you kind of got a grasp on, okay, this is this one, especially when they're female characters and you have to switch your brain to the other female character. But it's so cool. And you're like, oh, so you're over here and you're over here and this is what you're doing. Yeah. And now you're, so it's really cool. I really enjoyed the book. And that's why I'm saying get on part 2. Let's go.
I am. Book 2 is about 20% rewritten. You know, my first drafts, I've written to the end of the series, so I know where we're going. But the first drafts end up in the trash because that's where they belong. First drafts are for me. second dress for everybody else. But
yeah, I kind of similar. Yeah, first draft is just got to
yeah.
get something on paper so I know where I'm going. So where do people pick up the book?
The paperback is available everywhere. Ebook is on Amazon only, and this week until the 15th of September, it is 99 cents ebook on Amazon. So
Well,
that's a super deal. And Upheaval is on sale too. So a lot of people, when they're there, they're grabbing Upheaval too. So go grab both of them. They're both in Kindle Unlimited for now. Upheaval is the prequel novella. So it's teeny tiny. It's about an hour and a half read, maybe 3 hours, depending on how fast you read. If you're a speed reader, I've heard people get through it in an hour and a half. I'm like, I can't do that. But it's the story of Julie and Moses, who appear in Divided.
Yes.
But they are alive at the time of the Great Civil War and when Martin takes power.
Oh, well, that would be an interesting read too.
It's the origin story, if you will, for Divided.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So yeah, definitely go pick those up. And then where do people follow you?
So they can go to my website, ccrobinsonauthor.com, or I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads as @CCRobinsonAuthor.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Anything else that you want to mention or say before we say goodbye?
I just want to say a big thank you to Randi-lee and to all your audience. So thank you. This was awesome.
Awesome. So remember, go pick out her books and pick up hold on, I'm going to show it again.
Yeah,
it's upside down. It's upside down. And go pick up your new merch. That's really horrible. Hold on. It's really hard to hold stuff up to a camera like that. Yeah. Go pick up your merch because it is amazing and it will make great Christmas gifts. Yes, we're thinking that far ahead already.
Yes, I am too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. As always, thank you so much for the amazing guests that we have on the show. Be sure to check out their links down in the description below. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and check out our merch store. We've got some very cool things on there. That's my favorite. Sorry, I'm busy ending the stigma. But there's some other very cool designs. 10% of the proceeds always goes back to the Canadian Mental Health Association. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at RB Media because we have some great new shows coming up and you never want to miss any of those episodes. And remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly.